Tuesday of love. By now. Who you gonna call right now? Hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday, September 1st. Thursday, September. September. It's not June. It's not July. It's not August anymore. It's September. What is up with that? Oh my goodness gracious. Let me just go public here on the next device down. It does show that I'm live and I am liking it, and I'm going to do this, edit privacy. Go public, go public, go public. Thank you for the share already. William D. and Patty. Hi, Patty. Tie-dye Patty in the house. What up, girl? I love this dress. I love the other dresses. I had the other one on yesterday, and I had the other one on the day before. Love. Patty, how old is this dress? 10? 12 years old? So cool. Hello, Mama Grace. Hello, Julie, do you love me? Gracie and I had such a cool day. We went to a hotel called the Inn at, where were we, Mom? Over there. We went to a hotel. And friends of mine are staying there, and David Lam and I rehearsed. And we worked on songs I've never sung in my life before. I said, what about this one, David? He goes, do you know it? And I said, no, but I want to learn it. So we did, because we have a show on the 18th. Joanne F. Henry. Joanne F. Henry. Michael Bartoloni, I'm looking fantastic because I'm wearing my friend Patty Loman. Oh no, tie-dye Patty. I got to come up with a tie-dye Patty. And then Coakley Code. My Gobi agates. I'm all about what's going on here tonight. Tomorrow morning, April Bruce, I was almost going to knock at your house tonight. I really want to go in your yard. Back to the day. We hung out with David and Nancy. Gracie and I sang. We hung out. Then we went over to, where'd we go, Mom? To that dog place. And my cousin Joey D is the big, the guy. And then we went to Michigan City, and we went shopping. Gracie got what she's wearing to the wedding. I got what I'm wearing to the rehearsal dinner. I bought some other stuff. We had fun. We thought we were only going to be there a half an hour. We were there about an hour and a half. But that's what happens. Stray Dog. We went to the Stray Dog. We sat on the rooftop. Yeah, Joanne, how's your chair? Joanne F. Henry, how's that chair? We need to do a show from the chair. Please? Can we please do a show from the chair? Come on, Joanne. Then we hung out at the Stray Dog. And then April Bruce. And then had a big salad. Had a salad that was big salad. Not as big as the bowl that I have up there. And then we went to Chico's, and then we came home. And then I raced up here, and I'm starting the show tomorrow morning. Oh, come on, Joanne. Patty Loman. Tomorrow morning, Armando Ortega. Right, Bill? Please? And then tomorrow night, Display and Share. And then Saturday morning, Jeff Metzger. Saturday night, Gary Lambert. Sunday morning, not sure yet. Sunday night, tell me a story. I would love for you to come on and tell me a story about your life. Something fun. I want to... What? XK out? What does that mean? Come tell a story on Sunday night. Right now, we have the Plant Whisperer. The Plant Whisperer. Ladies and gentlemen. Elliot Goliger. Whoa, dude. Hello, plant whisperer.
Hi,
How are you?
pretty good.
What's going on? Where are you?
I'm in San Francisco. Hey.
Let's go. In a very cool area. He's a hipster. This one, be careful here. He's a hipster.
Uh,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New York City.
In the city.
Yeah, in the city proper. Yes, I did. But actually, in the furthest reaches of the Bronx is where I lived. And but I traveled to Manhattan and I made most of my teenage years I spent mostly there. I came home to sleep and then go to school in the morning.
How old were you when you first rode on the subway by yourself?
Oh, wow. I was maybe 13 years old.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty scary actually at first. It was a little like,
Because you were living in the Bronx, so you would like jump on by yourself. I'm saying first time
yeah,
by yourself.
yeah. I mean, actually, we mostly, my mom mostly brought me to places in the Bronx and we didn't go much on the subway. No, I think maybe we took the car or we went into the other boroughs and things. And when finally I had to go to school and that was the way to get there. And that's when I started doing it.
And where did you go to school?
I went to the High School of Performing Arts.
He's a performer. He's an actor. You're an actor, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a little maybe.
What would you? How do you? Sean Tyrol
Yeah,
Tyroller.
High roller. Yeah, he's a friend of
Cool
mine. Yeah,
name, Tyroller.
yeah.
I want you on the show just for that cool name, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Tyroller. So,
And he did. He rolled a lot of tie. Yeah, for sure. If I remember correctly. Yeah.
okay, let me just get. I'm doing a little more biz here, right this very second, so I can let people know that you're on the show. I'm gonna edit the post. Okay, so you grew up. So the first time you think it was you were 13.
Yeah, 13 years old. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And how did you get into? How did you go from the School of Performing Arts to being the plant whisperer that you are?
Oh, well, before I moved to the Bronx, I grew up in kind of a more suburban burg and we had trees and things like that and frogs and
Trees,
vines, salamanders, dirt,
dirt.
yeah, bugs. We made mud pies, it was pretty idyllic. And then I was taken to the Bronx and it was just a completely different environment. But I think really my nurture years were amongst the trees and the frogs and such. And, you know, I think that later when that was presented to me again, that it was a very comfortable environment. And so my initial connection to plants was actually in nature, and then I turned it into uh, my profession.
And your profession in that field started when?
1984.
1984. You started in the
In the
the dirt.
plant world, yeah. I mean, I actually was going to college when I took my first landscaping job, and that was my first connection with like the green industry and landscaping and stuff. And then on my way out to California, I spent some time in Santa Fe, and I studied plants while I was there. I took a job at a plant nursery, and then I took classes in Community College of Santa Fe, and one of my classes was Rocky Mountain wildflowers, and we climbed the mountains and explored all of that, and it was very interesting to me, I think. And
You
so
knew
I,
then that's it. You're going to do plants. You're going to be.
yeah, I think that it kind of came to me. I mean, it wasn't exact. It took a little bit of, there were some struggles because I did have my heart set on being an actor, and it was a little bit of work to let that go and move into a new experience. So I think that it wasn't a slam dunk, but from just being with myself, I realized uh, that it was an enjoyable thing for me, and the community of people that I met through that work were really supportive and positive, and I had a lot of great experiences, I think, early on. I mean, one of them that's really notable is that when I worked at the plant nursery, there were some really old folks who the nursery was actually three generations. It was super old folks. They must have been 70s. And
Oh,
then,
that's super old, right?
oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, for me, it was like 20s, and they were like, patriarch and matriarch of the group. And then their son was kind of running things, and he was married, and they had kids, and the kids were kind of involved. And so it was a real family operation. But they were very supportive. They they encouraged me to explore that a little bit. And then we even started going on hikes together and doing things together. And it was pretty cool, being like, oh God, I was 20 years old or something. And we'd go hiking together, and they were super sweet. He was a super interesting guy. He was a former Unitarian minister, and they were lovely people. And then when I went to leave, they threw a party, and they were so sweet. They made rhubarb pie, and it was
Oh,
they were really sweet. And I never saw them again after that. I moved on. I came to San Francisco, and that was it. But I think that I met more and more people in that industry, and people who were kind and supportive of my exploration. And I think that was encouraging for me.
are they still are they still in business in Santa Fe?
I haven't been. I was last time I was in Santa Fe was God, it was over 20 years ago. So maybe they are. I don't know.
Maybe, or there's a Ross there now or something.
Yeah.
Hi, Rob Morocco. What
Uh,
did you have for lunch today?
oh, well, that's an interesting question. Well, I was kind of running without a lot of stuff here, but I came home and I thought, okay, I'll whip something up. I'll figure something out. And I found some like old porcinis in the drawer, and I took some tomatoes in a can. Yeah, tomatoes. I know you hate them. And I had some, and I poured the can in, and I softened the porcinis, and it was really super simple. I had some frozen tortellini and just threw it in there, and a little porcini and tomato and some garlic and a little olive oil, and there you
That was
go.
lunch?
That was lunch. Yeah, it was
Wow.
basic. Yeah.
What did you have for dinner then?
Oh, I had a burger actually. Nothing too exciting. Somebody else made it.
Another burger. And okay, so you moved to San Francisco and you started a landscaping company where you worked for other people?
Oh yeah, I mean it was a little bit of a thing, but I first started. I came here, and I thought that I would go to school to become a landscape architect. And kids are pretty fickle or whatever. And somebody said to me, are you sure you want to do that, because these guys are going to be making parking lots and stuff, and do you really want to like design asphalt parking lots? And I thought, oh my god, well, maybe not. Maybe this is boring, perhaps no. So I started on the track, and I was studying botany and design and drafting and all these little building blocks to become a competent designer, and some art classes and science and whatever I could do that I felt that was related, design and plant ID. And so I was expanding on that. I already taken basic botany in Santa Fe, and so I was going to advance, and I was going to go to maybe Berkeley, or maybe I was going to go to San Luis Obispo. And
Mm.
then somebody just said, landscape architecture, how boring. And I was like, oh, maybe you're right, fuck this.
Those
And
people, someone who just said, I know them too.
what's that?
I said those people, those someone that said, someone
Yeah,
said,
something that said, I was like, yeah, you're right,
boring, that's
and
stupid.
and probably would have just been better, like, go to school, get your fucking degree, like just do your thing, like do the right thing. But instead I was like, no, I'm just gonna wing it, and I was as an unlicensed contractor, and pulling weeds and doing anything I could, like, and I was like, this is great, but I was learning. And eventually so many people were like, they try to take advantage of you. And finally, I realized that, I had to become a contractor, or I was going to have no protection at all, that I had to operate in some kind of like, legitimate way. And so I started to move more towards that direction. But in the meanwhile, I, I took a job with the city of Daly City. I worked with them for a while. I learned some skills with that. But early in my career, I was an arborist. I trimmed trees and cut them, and that's what I did. And
Can you come here? I have these trees outside that need to be cut.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I hardly ever climb a tree anymore, but I still
So
am.
were you a tree climber as a child?
Oh, I loved climbing trees. So it was a real natural thing for me to explore. And at the time, I was like super, physically like
Can you climb way up
capable.
into those trees?
Yeah, I used to like pull myself up with a rope and go all the way up, and sometimes I do the
Do you
the
wear
spikes,
shoes?
and it was insane. Actually, it was pretty much like, this is a crazy job,
That's
and
pretty
people
nuts.
die,
Yeah.
people die. And so of course I almost killed myself, but it didn't happen. And it was a pretty crazy job, I have to say, and cutting big branches, and dealing with ropes and dropping things, and giant branches swinging around, and uh, chainsaws, and you know
Nervous now.
pretty ridiculous. But for me, it was a real it was the way I could kind of get my foot in the door, because it was a specialty. And then through that, I got a lot of connections into a lot of different things. And so I was able to kind of slowly morph my business from just tree guy to landscaper. I hired some friends of mine who knew some carpentry, and I studied kind of as their apprentice, and learned how to build stuff. And then once I learned how to build stuff, I stopped doing the trees as much, and I started folding my business into more of a landscaping company. And so it started as a tree trimming company, maybe just a little bit of landscaping, and then it totally switched. And now I do mostly landscaping, and I've begun a new business with a plant nursery. So that's my new
What's the name
venture.
of your business?
My I
Landscape.
have a few. So my landscaping company is Artisans Landscape, and my tree trimming company is called Arbor Cadabra, Arborist.
Wait, you're what?
It's called Arbor Cadabra.
Arbor Cadabra.
Yeah, Arbor Cadabra Arborist Company Inc. Because I felt like, nobody really cares that much about, like, they want a fun, just let the tree guy come over and he'll just cut the trees and, you know, it's all easy, nobody wants to, really get into the nitty gritty of what the arborist does. Mostly they just want somebody to come in and take care of it. I mean, I try to explain to them and everybody's face just glosses over and they just look at me like, yeah, whatever. So I figured, okay, people just want branches cut. Let's keep it fun. Let's keep it light. And so that's my tree trimming company. And then my nursery is Heron's Head Nursery because it's across from a place called Heron's Head Park.
And how long have you had that?
It's my 2-year anniversary in like a few days. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Wait, two people here have been lumberjacks.
Oh, yeah, really?
William, you were a lumberjack, and Michael, you also? How cool is that? I've known these people for quite a while. I never knew that they were lumberjacks. So,
Sometimes
2 year
you,
anniversary. You started
yeah.
your business at an interesting time.
Yeah, I used to whack the trees a lot. Let's see if I can get this soundtrack.
So,
That's tree trimming, I think. Yeah, right?
you're funny. So, okay, you're an actor.
Yeah.
What
In the past
is one of
tense.
your
Yeah.
favorite?
Instead of actor, actor.
You're an actor.
Yeah, from the back.
Some people are
From the
actors,
back.
other people are actors. You're an act. I think you're an actor.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
He has an doesn't don't you guys think he has an Armando vibe a little bit? You remind me of my cousin. It's a good thing.
Oh,
Hi T, I
cool.
love you. Um, so were you in any commercials or movies or I mean, have we seen you anywhere and not realized it?
Oh my God. I tried out for a couple of pretty good roles, but I didn't get it. And the one that I think of is from the movie Mask. I tried out for that, but I was rejected. And actually, I never made I don't I did community theater or whatever, but I never made a penny uh doing acting.
Community theater, you don't make a penny.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I did children's theater for a
See?
bit. Yeah, that was good. That was a good gig when I was in high school. But later, to be involved with the theater, I did a lot of technical theater, and I was stagehand and things like that. I built sets, and I did a lot of that, and that was my job, like through my later part of high school.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did.
How do they graduate from that school? What's the graduation ceremony like?
We all like just jump out. We go out
Dance?
in the street and we dance. And then,
You sing fame and
yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah. I mean, it's the fame school. So,
how close to the famed movie was the famed school?
well, it's not
Did you
really
guys
like
all of a sudden break out
that.
into song and dance during lunch hour?
Well, there were elements. There were elements like the leg warmers. That was the thing. Okay. So we had the leg warmers for sure. And then, you
She's a
know,
maniac.
yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and a lot, there were several people in the movie that were actually like people that I knew personally from school. So it was always kind of exciting
So there
to,
were people in the movie from that went to that
yeah,
school?
yes, that's right. They were chosen from the school. Uh,
Wow. From
so
the actual movie, not the show.
yeah, yeah, from the movie. Well, the show too, actually. Um, I'm sure she's not tuning in, but she's a friend of mine on Facebook, the one who was Coco on the TV show. And
Wow, Coco.
so, yeah, but there were several people. No, there, and some of them are my friends and sort of, Facebook people. And so that was kind of interesting in the beginning. And the teachers, there were a few teachers that were in the movie, and
Huh.
it was kind of exciting to be part of that era, of PA, performing arts. And maybe there are some PA people here tonight, but how many people are? I can't tell. I'm not looking at it,
How
but
many people are on right now? Wow, so that's what I looked like 6 years ago. Cutie pie. Hold on. I get these blasts of, this is you 10 years ago. Oh, great. Thank you. I can't tell. Can anyone tell me how many people are on right now? 11. Wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You got to dance with me. Go, Elliot. That's how we roll here on 1111. Laura McCormick,
I've
PA
been watching.
wannabe. Oh, she's a PA wannabe.
I've been watching the show, so I kind of got it figured out a little.
Kind of get what's going on. I used to sing in a band with Irene Cara.
Oh, cool.
That's as close to famous
Yeah.
I got. And a lot of my
Yeah.
friends. Did you Nefertiti Jones?
Well,
Neff
I
Jones?
know the name. No, I think you asked me this
Did I
before.
ask about Neff? Neff was there along with Laura Wolf. And they're about, yeah, age wise, about. So when you are a landscape architect, do you draw? Are you a good artist?
Well, I don't. I mostly don't render stuff, but I
Render,
do
excuse me.
sometimes in my when I consult people, sometimes I do take out a pad and kind of draw something in perspective and kind of try to illustrate. But I no, I use AutoCAD to do my plans, and super accurate. And I work in a lot of small backyards, so we're kind of dealing with inches a lot, just perfect measurements, because we don't have a lot of space. So that's how we
Because
roll here.
you're working a lot in the city.
Yeah, yeah. Most, like 95% of what I do is urban design.
Fun. And do you bake?
No, actually I like cooking a lot, but I baking is just, it's kind of a whole nother realm. I mean, I there were I'm kind of eating all the old food in the cabinet. So I made some brownies. So I was very proud of the brownies, but
We
it's
have
a
a we have a gardening question.
yeah.
Actually, I have one from another person that
Oh,
asked.
really? Okay.
What are the best plants to attract monarch butterflies?
That's an interesting topic right now. Um, Hang on, let me think about it.
Yellow, left foot. Dun 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 dun.
Okay.
Good. I mean,
So this is an issue. There's a lot of tough love. I mean, actually, wait, too much love or whatever, is that what you say when people are trying to help the
bring the
monarch
butterflies.
butterflies,
Yeah.
but there's some problems. So first of all, like in San Francisco, for instance, the plant that supports the monarch butterfly should not be grown in like most of the city, because it won't go dormant. And if the plant doesn't go dormant, then the butterflies stay around longer than they should, and then the butterflies are actually killed. Right? So people are planting this plant thinking they're helping the butterflies, but if the plant doesn't go dormant, the butterflies don't go away, and then they actually meet their death um, because these people are meant to do
So they stay
something
too
good.
long.
They stay too long. So actually, there's people who like, nurseries that want to sell the plant, but it's really they really shouldn't sell it unless it's really appropriate where the person wants to put it. And there's only a few places maybe in the city that might be appropriate for that. So the Monarch is it's a really complex thing, and I think that locally, each area has you'd have certain uh, things that you could do. I think in your area, I guess it would be, of course, milkweed is what
That's
they
right.
use, and as long as it actually goes dormant, that'll force them to migrate to new location in the winter, which is critical for their survival. So in mild climates, and I don't know, I'm sure you have people from all over the place, but um, you really need to check whether or not it's appropriate to grow the milkweed in your location.
I'm pretty sure that it is here, but I've seen I've seen a lot of monarchs this particular week.
Mm. Yeah, they were there for some reason. Like last year, there were very few, and then this year there's been a big resurgence. So yeah, that they just want the milkweed, but I probably I I have limited knowledge about it, but I would just use the internet to educate myself.
And what about it's soon to do bulbs?
Mm.
How do we prevent chipmunks from making the bulbs their lunch and dinner?
Oh my goodness. Well, we have no chipmunks in San Francisco, so I'm sorry to say I don't
I love
really.
chipmunks.
Oh yeah, I
They
know.
like to eat the bulbs.
Oh yeah, yeah, and gophers too probably, and there must be techniques uh to preventing that. But again, I don't think I can help with that question. Sorry.
Anybody else have a question? How many plants do you think you could identify? Like if I sat here and went, we could do that. Let's do that sometime.
Well,
I'm gonna get a card thing full of plants and hold it up.
so for my nursery, I had to put together a database. And so, and also I've been like, reading a lot of plant information the past couple of years. So I actually do have a pretty good idea of how many plants I know. And I think it's over 3,000.
What?
Yeah.
You know over 3,000 plants?
Yeah, I believe I do. Yeah.
And you're somewhat of an expert, I was told. I,
Oh,
I did some research about you.
um,
Some people call you an expert.
yeah, they do. They do. But, I do. I am sort of. You do something for long enough. I mean, what do they say? You need 10,000 hours, but I probably have 30,000 hours of involvement in the landscape and tree world.
What is your favorite edible plant?
Oh, wow, my favorite edible plant. Um, Broccoli.
Is that your favorite?
I no, I don't know. Actually, I
You're
do.
foraging out in the woods.
Oh, well, I do. I love corn.
You love what?
Corn.
Corn, did you say?
Corn.
I thought you said porn. Did you guys hear corn or
It's
porn?
just a non sequitur, right? Just like out of the blue.
I
Hey,
heard porn.
everybody. Hey,
I was
hey,
about
new
to ask
friends.
because I know a couple other
Hey.
people that really like porn on that are on the show right now.
Oh, really? Oh,
I know
well,
these things.
maybe we should be talking to them. They could be quite interesting.
So if you and I were out and we got lost in the woods and we were hungry,
Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. Well, it depends
Oh, see,
where we
patties are
are,
corn.
but there
Patties
is a
are corn.
lovely plant. There's a lovely plant that the
Oh,
Native Americans used to eat, and it's called yampa, right?
yamba.
You know about yampa?
I do. Do
So the
tell.
nuts, yampa nuts are like,
Porn on the
they're
cob.
exquisite. Huh?
So William just said porn on the cob. Yep. Yep. It goes. And so it goes. So we're stranded in the woods. And I'm like, Elliot, I'm starving. Elliot, I'm starting to get hypoglycemic and I don't have another power bar. What are we gonna eat?
Oh well, I would dig up. Maybe we dig up some yampa, and then we find some salad greens or something. Maybe I don't know. Oh my god, I'd probably go for some mushrooms or what would I
Because
eat?
you
I would
also lead
some
people on
nutsedge.
hikes.
Oh, I do. Yeah, you know what? I think nutsedge is not very tasty, but it's super nutritious, and you find it everywhere. You could probably just like chomp on it, like in
What's that?
nutsedge,
Nuts edge.
nutsedge.
Nutsedge. I've never seen nutsedge.
Oh, no, you have. I'm sure you
Nutsedge.
have.
I don't know what a nutsedge is. I'm gonna look that up now so I can know that when I'm hungry I can eat it. Is it like how is it spelled?
Nut.
With one T?
Yeah, like not like nutter butter.
Okay. Nut, and then is the sedge a separate
Yeah.
word?
Yeah, sedge.
SED?
DGE. Sedge.
SEDGE.
Yeah.
Nut sedge grass.
Yes.
Nut sedge, there's a nut sedge killer that comes right up.
The nutsedge killer.
The spray that's a killer.
Oh, oh. Okay.
Cyperus esculentus is the Latin
Yeah,
term.
but there's other sedges that are like nut
It
sedges.
is a
They're probably
species
native.
of plant in the sedge family widespread across much of the world. It is found mostly in the eastern hemisphere, including southern Europe, Africa, Madagascar. I want to go to Madagascar and eat. Oh, this is yellow nut sedge. How do I kill my nut sedge?
Don't kill it. Eat it.
Nut sedge, home and garden
You
information.
have to you have to keep a little patch of
The
nutsedge in
big
case
thing,
this is the world.
how to kill your nut sedge.
People, they just want to kill shit.
They really do. So messed up. So it's highly nutritious nut sedge.
Yeah, I would say that in the woods, like, if I was totally desperate or whatever, I would, you know, just at least try to get it down my throat or whatever to survive. I mean, but it's pretty ubiquitous. The Cyperus, I think that's not exactly what I'm talking about. I was talking about more like a Carex, but there's grasses. You can eat the the seeds of the grasses. I mean, the Native Americans, they would collect these seeds, and even when the Europeans, they brought over some really shitty, weedy grasses and stuff, but the Native Americans adjusted to that, and they used to collect the seeds from some of those things too. And
Yes, we
it
did.
was that's what pinole, the word pinole, and the place Pinole in the East Bay means the Indians collected these seeds that was called pinole.
This is true. I don't know about warm pupae. Do you know about pupae? According to Sean, it's a common protein, which is a large worm. They cook it like shrimp in Madagascar.
Oh my God, Sean! Wow,
Sean, I need you to come on the show.
I had some grasshoppers in Mexico. They
Yeah.
just tasted like charred shells or something. It could have been like shrimp shells or whatever, like on the grill or something. It was wasn't very flavorful. It was just kind of roughage or something,
What about parts of the pine tree? Apparently, according to Patty Hausman, you can eat some parts of a pine tree, which is
This
edible.
is quite interesting. Yeah, I think that fir trees and stuff like people use sometimes the um, that I just found out that they take in some places, I guess it was hops were illegal in parts of Europe because it was they were making booze. So the monks came up with a plan to just make their wort with other things. So there's actually beer that isn't made with hops; it's made with the tips of the fir tree. So I just learned about that this past week. So that is quite interesting. And once a long time ago, when
Okay.
one of my favorite restaurants, they had a pretty inspired chef, and they were using like charred fir buds or whatever in the meal, and it was very good. I mean, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, she just did say that. She said that was from the grape nuts commercial. You're right.
Oh,
Now, some parts of the pine tree are edible.
oh.
Now that I think that, what was his name?
You'll no
Yule
Evan
Gibbons.
Gibbons.
Yule Gibbons. Yule Gibbons. Yeah, there. Okay, so Julie said, well, there are squirrels in the Bay Area. So how do you keep the squirrels away from digging up the bulbs?
Do you think Yule Gibbons could have been related to Billy Gibbons, or is that there's no
You
chance, right?
know, I could see that. I
They
could
both
see
had
that.
beards.
I thought Yule was kind of hot for an old dude.
Isn't that Yul Brenner?
No, Gibbons. What was his name? Wasn't it Yule
Yul
Gibbons?
Brenner, like the one, the
Yule
Telly
Gibbons and
Savalas
Yule
dude.
Brenner are two totally different people.
Oh, yeah.
Yule
Uh,
Gibbons was the guy from Grape Nuts. Now I have to look at. Yeah, he was a good-looking old man, but he probably wasn't that old. I'm still Yule Gibbons. Here he is. Was an outdoorsman and early health food advocate. I loved him. I was eating Kellogg's concentrate, and grape nuts when I was 5. Yeah, he was a good looking guy. He looked like he lived in Berkeley or something like that. Yule Gibbons. Yeah. Hi, Yule. I wonder where he's from. Yeah, he was into wild foods and raw food and all kinds of stuff. What food did Yule Gibbons avoid? He was a forager. Once served as the folky face of grape nuts, the breakfast cereal that contains neither grapes nor nuts. How old was he? Yeah, he was 64 when he did that show. The cause of he died at 64. Oh, he died at 64. Yule probably had.
yeah. You never know,
Do
huh?
you like ice cream?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not Satan, so yeah, of course I do.
I know somebody that doesn't like ice cream
Oh.
or chocolate.
Well,
They go, oh,
I don't
gross.
seek it out, but
Ice cream's disgusting. Oh, gross. Chocolate. I'm like, later. Later.
yeah, no, I mean, I
What kind
don't
of ice
seek it
cream?
out. I have, I prefer other fattening food to that, but yeah, I
Over
wouldn't
ice
say
cream?
no. Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Like, do you do
Um,
plant-based ice creams?
oh yes, I have. Yes, for sure. It's good. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have some plant-based ice cream in my freezer that's so good. It's the best chocolate ice cream that I've had. Yo, Teach, what up? What up, Teach? So there are questions I have about plants and stuff, but I think will you come back?
Oh yeah, yeah. Save your questions for sure. Yeah, I come back.
Don't
Yeah.
you guys want? Do you think we should have? Does anyone else have one more question for Elliot? Because I have tons. Yule. Yeah, not Welk. Yule. It's a cool name, Yule. I didn't know how it was spelled. Euell. Yule.
Mm.
I've heard you're supposed to soak it in the milk prior. What are we talking about now? Oh, the grape nuts. That's funny. I loved grape nuts. They're very loud though. But they're made of wheat, so I can't eat them. If I could eat those, I would eat them now. I don't think anyone has any more questions for you, but I'm waiting. I'm trying to think of a question for you. What's your favorite color?
Oh, it's it's blue.
Blue.
It's blue.
Particular kind of shade of blue?
Um, Not too,
Aqua
yeah, kind
blue.
of darker, maybe, I
Uh,
don't, maybe, or
ivory
lighter
blue.
too, but there is a blue I don't prefer, but no, that's, yeah, I don't know.
Good
Maybe
question.
like the blue back there is kind of bluish, it's kind of subtle blue, like the sky blue or the ocean blue. That's a perfect blue
That's
to
good
me.
blue.
Yeah.
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 Like you're on a sailboat on Maui and then you go out into
Yeah. Or like the Caribbean, that blue in the
right.
ocean right there. That's,
What did you have for dinner again? Oh, you had a hamburger.
I
Friend of
did.
his
Yeah.
made
Pretty
a
bland. Yeah. No, because I didn't have time to deal with cooking tonight. So I went
and
somewhere.
one question from Sean. I'm I didn't know you can you plant a lilac hedge?
Can you
Can you
plant
make
one?
a
Of
hedge? Can you
course you
create a
can.
hedge out of lilac? I guess. How
Oh, for
far
sure.
apart should you space the plants to create a hedge?
There's like a million different kinds of lilacs, and each kind is going to have a different shape and size. So the bigger one, you're going to want to give it a little bit more space, and the shorter ones, you're going to want to put closer together. In California, here, we have to use low chill lilacs. We have a very small selection of lilacs that we can use um, because lilacs mostly need to freeze to do their thing.
I used to put ice cubes at the roots of the
And that
lilac.
worked out? Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Yeah. When I lived in Richmond, I had a lilac tree. Someone gave me a lilac tree. I planted it, and then someone else said you just have to put ice cubes on it for like every day for a month. I did it. I
Yeah,
think.
that sounds like, perhaps maybe because they want the roots to be chilly and um maybe that's a good idea. I don't really know. But I'm not sure if it's a soil thing or an air thing, but that's an interesting idea. And I guess if you had success, then maybe it's valid.
But oh, Nicholas is watching, so we're coast to coast and Canada too.
Wow, cool. Well, I'm so honored to be here with you, and I've been watching your show and I can't even believe I'm on your show now. This is like this is so fantastic.
Come back, and you can share the show. And just so you know, the show all is always here until Facebook decides to make it go poof. And then it's also William D picks all the shows up and puts them on YouTube forever.
Incredible. Well,
And
such
you
an
have a
honor.
website, correct?
Oh, yeah, I have a website, a couple of them.
What are your websites?
Well, you can check out my work at www.artisanslandscape.com.
Artisanslandscape.com.
And you can see what I do. And then I have the nursery that's kind of in development, aaron'sheadnursery.com. And then yeah, and then there's the co-op too, um, the
What's the
tree
co op?
cooperative.
The
So
nursery is different than the co op.
yeah, oh, I belong to a tree cooperative, and we also have our own thing.
A tree cooperative.
Yeah, Arborist Cooperative. Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
We are called the Bay Area Arborist Cooperative, and we're a group of like I think it's now 10 of us or something, who we have our own independent companies where we share resources and training, and we have a combined office, and we work together
And you
to.
sit and talk about trees?
Yeah, we do. Mostly we talk about like how we going to run this business, but we do get together, and there's training and things like that for our people. So we get
My
together.
friend Nicholas is also a landscape and hardscaper.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's how I do a lot of that.
What is a hardscaper?
That's when you're building patios or retaining walls, that kind of stuff, stonework.
Hardscaper.
Mhm.
Learning all these words: nutsedge,
Yeah.
hardscaper, porn. Wow. Great with that. Nicholas, I knew kind of what you, but you do. He's a graphic. He's a designer, and he needs to be on the show too, Nicholas. But ladies, this show is challenging to get women on. They go, "Oh, my hair looks terrible tonight. Oh, I don't feel like. Oh, I can't be." And then you go, "Hey, you want? Sure, I'll be on the show." What's your favorite apple? I have a Honeycrisp right here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wow, out here we can grow the Fuji. That's a lovely apple. Um, but the Pink Lady is a lovely apple.
I love pink ladies.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm down with the Pink Lady.
Artisanlandscape.com. And what is your other website?
Artisans is a S on the end there.
Uh oh. Oh, there's an artisans. No, Nicholas, you can be on the show. Please.
Yeah, come on, more people.
Artisans, and
Ladies
what's the
too.
other website?
It's almost embarrassing because it's not fully together yet, but we're working on it. But my nursery, heronsheadnursery.com. And
And that's in San Francisco, and that's somewhere where I might actually do a gig sometime.
yeah, please come on down.
Heron's Head Nursery. Because you have an espresso machine?
Yeah.
Was that for public consumption?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And anybody on this show, just mention that you saw me on the show, and I will get you a complimentary espresso.
Whoa, very nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll have some sounds too. You can find some more.
They're a wild bunch. What's that?
Uh,
You had what?
I have some sounds too, that I wanted to play, but
Oh, please do. What are the
they're
sounds?
not. None of them really are. They're not. They're not relevant at the moment. But
But you worked so hard to create them.
yes, yes, I did. Well, I'll play one here.
Oh, you need to turn it up. I think it's by the.
Permission request.
What kind of
Oh,
laptop?
oh shit!
What happened? What
Do you
happened?
know what's going on over here?
I kind of hear
So-
something. Is that your burglar alarm?
So I have a Droid phone, and if you hit the wrong button, it goes into this crazy accessibility mode. And now it's like the phone, it's gone completely haywire right now. It's like completely. I actually have to Google how to shut this thing up. I don't know what I'm going to do about it.
Does anyone know how to? What is the problem? Somebody here might know. Seriously.
I have to like hit some buttons or something. I can find it on the internet. It's in accessibility mode, and now it just I can't do anything with it. It just I don't know how anyone uses it like this, and it's just it's gone rogue.
So wait a second. So you played "Never Gonna Give You Up," "Never Gonna Say
Yeah, I
Goodbye."
took a little soundbite and then I hit some buttons because I was trying to fumble around, and all of a sudden it's. Do you want to? Do you see? Can you hear it going back there? Look, this is crazy.
Some woman's going crazy. Where's it? Where's it? This at though? Is that your phone? Confused. Do you guys know what's going on?
So,
94%.
so
Not
you
recognized.
see when I hit it,
Not recognized. Fingerprint sensor. Hold a little longer. Finger not recognized. Device at 9:07 p.m. 9:07. Play audio.
do you see what's
Detected.
going over here?
Text 5 feet button.
Gracie, my mom says to turn it off completely. Totally turn it off.
System UI. Text. Power off. Window phone options. Power off. Double tap to activate. Shutting down.
What's that about?
You know, it's going to turn on and it's going to be stuck in the same thing is going to happen. But anyway, I can't believe that happened. I mean, this is the most annoying thing. And if luckily I'm home with my computer and stuff, but this has happened to me like out in the field driving around and my phone just goes
That same
goes
person.
crazy. Yeah, all of a sudden it's in accessibility mode, and the only way, like, you need another device to find out how to shut it off, how to shut this mode off. This world is complicated, to say the least. You know, I mean, and sometimes it's a little too much.
Yeah, I'm sorry about your phone. Seriously, I don't know the answer to that, but
The answer is get an iPhone, I think, perhaps.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, good night. Patty's leaving too. Patty Loman, Patty Loman, Patty. I don't know too many people with an Android on the show, but sorry. So when you
Uh,
put Rick on, that's when that happened?
yeah, yeah. I like to be like slightly anachronistic, but you know, this has gone too far. This thing is, I just got to get rid of it.
Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you for having me. Oh,
3,000 plants.
yeah, yeah. And wow, I maybe we'll see each other in person sometime soon.
Wouldn't that be an interesting concept? I hope so. We can do a show together. We can do an 8:11 p.m. show when I'm in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
whatever. I'm up for it, you know. We
All
could do
right.
we could do yoga or something.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. It's a deal. Do you have would you like to give me a letter and I'll sing you a song?
Um yeah, Jay, please.
J, O, J, O, J, that's what we sing today. Not O, J, but the letter J. Yes, come to Michigan. Patty says, come to Michigan. Tie-dye Patty says, come to Michigan. She'll make you a cool t-shirt and we can talk about plants and eat some good food. 'Cause she can make some great food. And I know that things just happen every day. I know. And we are here tonight with the plant whisperer, Elliot Goliger. And thank you very much. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and be real nice. And hello, Melinda, how are you? Once or twice. I will go right here and say, have joyful thoughts and just words and a really, 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 I'll go for it. A Jenna kind of heart. That's my song for the night. It's actually Friday, September 2nd. It's 12:11 a.m. right now.
Wow, it's been a whole hour. Well, it just went like that.
Just like that. Just like that. Come back. Hang out with us.
All
Come to
right.
Michigan. Hang out with us.
Sounds like fun.
Okay. Thank you, Elliot. Elliot, everybody. See you soon, yeah? Love hard, everybody.